sure. Let me play some music. What's up, listeners?
What is a nation without representation? What is a nation without representation of the 5%, about 10% of basic? All praise to Allah, and that's a blessing. All makes sense to me, Allah. All praise to Allah, and that's a blessing. All makes sense to me, Allah.
Peace, 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 and blessings to each and every one out there. This is the Real 360 show. I'm your co-host, DJ KY is Allah. We'd like to welcome each and every one of y'all. And first of all praises due to Allah's 5% nation of gods and earths, and to all the human families of the planet Earth. I bid you greetings. Once again, welcome to the Real 360 show. And without further ado, we're going to get right into the program. We got a very exciting and special show for y'all to hear, dealing with community activation and positive unification amongst the black nation. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring on my co-host so he can introduce our special guest for today. None other than my brother in God, Joshua Allah. Peace, God.
Oh, peace, 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 peace. How y'all doing today? How y'all doing today? First and foremost, I want to thank you all for all the birthday wishes. It was very, impactful, and definitely humbling. Now, I felt all the love and the positive energy from everyone. Also, too, I want to shout out I5 Designs, who always support the Real 360, Ray Sweet LLC out in Charlotte. You can contact these individuals on Facebook under Ray Smith, under Tasha Law. We want to make sure that we touch everyone who's definitely been impactful in our success and us moving forward. But today's show is a very, very important show to me and to KYs, because we're an opportunity to look and see what is actually going on the West Coast. We have a prominent individual in the community of Los Angeles, Southern Los Angeles, who is working with the youth, who's working with homeless, who's trying to teach culinary, trying to keep the young off the streets, and trying to stop a lot of unnecessary violence and stuff in the community. Ms. Ann Cooper has Project 43 Team Center out there in Southern California. So if you're out in Southern California in the Crenshaw section, please stop by and say hello to her. But at this moment in time, I want to bring Ms. Ann Cooper on and let her introduce herself and let her speak to some of the things that she has going on in the Los Angeles area. Ms. Ann Cooper, could you please come on? Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. I think you muted. Your mic is muted. Your mic muted, Ms. Ann.
Well, you know, I'm old. I got to catch up. I got to catch up.
Yes.
Hey.
Yeah. But like I said, you have a lot of things going on for the community. And we're talking about working with at-risk youth, trying to help them stop some of the violence in the community, trying to get them away from the violence in the community. Also working with the homeless and women empowerment. You have a plethora, like your resume of the things that you have going on at Project 43 Team Center is unbelievable. So I want you to give yourself the introduction to the people, because what I can won't do any justice because of all the things that you've been doing. So welcome. It's truly humbling to have you. So please introduce yourself to all our followers, all our listeners, and good morning to you out there in California.
Good morning. First, give honor to God. Through him, all my blessings flow. But I am, you know what? This is an honor today to do this show. I'm always looking for a platform to tell my story because this is a story of what I'm doing, or me and my team. I have a team of 8 people that run all my different departments because we got a lot going on over here on at Project 43. I am a native California. I live in a house that my dad bought when I was 4 years old. And I, decided to do this community center because of what's going on in our community. This gentrification thing is really taking off. We're losing so much of resources in our, community. We no longer have a grocery store that we could walk to. And so we they closed down, our Social Security office that was in the area and everything. So basically, with Project 43, what I am trying to do is put back some of the resources that were taken away from the community and make it better for people. Right now, we're going to be doing a plethora of things. We got a lot of things going on, but right now, I had to tell the story from the beginning. This started off as a simple little backpack giveaway. When Nipsey Hussle got killed, my daughter came to me one day and said, "Mom, I want to do something for 59th Street School," which was a school that he always took care of every year. And she said, "I want to make sure that 59th Street is good." So she said, "Well, Mama, I want to pass out 60 backpacks filled with supplies." And I said, "Well, you know what? I think we can do better than that." We actually ended up buying 1,000 backpacks, filled them with supplies, and we went to one of our local hot dog stands called Jordan's Hot Dogs, and we asked them, could we use their facility for the day? And they said, yeah, but he was so hell bent on closing his facility for that day to do this event for me. I didn't want him to lose money. So I bought 1,000 hot dog meals and we passed out the backpacks with the hot dog meals. So after we, did that event, someone was telling me, we started talking. And then one night I was talking to my king and he was like, "You know what, babe?" He said, "You remember when we used to have the, team post in the in the area?" Said that was some of the best times. He said, "Why don't we bring that back?" And it fell right in, it fell into the time when everybody was talking about, hey, what are you going to do to keep running the marathon? So we decided to open up the community center in honor of Nipsey Hussle in the marathon movement. We didn't immediately announce that we were doing it, in honor of Nipsey Hussle because we wanted Project 43 to have its own legs. You understand? We wanted people to know Project 43 for Project 43. Even though we just, as you can see right behind me, you see my hands, that's those are, a gallery came in and painted my whole lobby wall. And it says, "Thank you for picking up the baton and running the next lap in our marathon." So as we've been progressing, this thing has been wonderful because we have some youth involved that's been coming up here and helping us to, remodel. We are in the midst of remodeling. When I took this building, it was a dilapidated, when I say dilapidated building, it was not, I had let me tell you, I had 5 contractors come in here and walk through this building because I'm actually leasing it. And they told me, they said, "You know what, and don't take this building." Said, "You don't have the money to do this building." He said it would be, over $300,000 to bring this building just up to code. but I had already made up my mind
Mhm.
because that I was looking at what this building could be for our community. They were talking about tearing this building down and putting a 300 unit apartment building in here. And I didn't want that to happen. I live in a house that my father bought when I was 4 years old. I
Mhm.
am 61 years old and I am not going anywhere. And I want to make sure that my community is good. So, in the interim of that, I did take the building
Mhm.
and we started to remodel. We got 3 weeks into the remodeling and the COVID hit us. But I refuse to let the COVID, when the COVID first came out, you know how on the news everything was so like it was going to be the end of the world. You understand?
Mhm.
I stopped watching TV. I created an acronym COVID, COVID.
Mhm.
COVID can't outdo me. Victory is done. And I
Mhm.
kept on going.
Mhm.
And I'm so happy that I did do that because in the midst of the pandemic,
Mhm.
Project 43 has fed over 3,000 families.
Mhm.
We have embarked on really working with our homeless community.
Mhm.
We do a backpack filled with supplies, everything they need. We
Mhm.
started a program where we provide cots for our homeless community so they won't have to sleep on the ground.
Mhm.
We also were instrumental in our new district attorney started to release these prisoners from these long-term prison term, these crazy, outrageous years that they was giving these men. But
Mhm.
the first 25 men that was released from under this new initiative, Project 43 gave them backpacks filled with supplies,
Mhm.
and they went to transitional housing. So we're
Mhm.
going to continue to work with that program, and we also will be putting in a prisoner reentry program here.
Okay.
And I already have been talking to, I had two contractors that are going to come on board with me. And what they're going to be doing is as these prisoners get out, they're going to be teaching them how to be contractors. They're
Mhm.
going to loan them tools in the beginning, but the agreement is that every week that they get paid, they have to buy their own tools,
Mhm.
and in that way they eventually have their own tools to work with. We're gonna loan them tools in the beginning, but
Right.
we're gonna so that's one of our programs. We also have program that's going in our culinary program. So
Mhm.
we are going to be teaching cooking classes. We will also be turning it into a ghost kitchen
Mhm.
where we have the local vendors are going to be utilizing it. It will be open 24 hours.
Mhm.
So we can make sure that, our, we're having a lot of problems with um, it's the health department
Mhm.
basically, putting in all these things in place where it's being very hard for street vending. So
Mhm.
I want to create a spot where they can come and prepare their food and
Mhm.
then be able to, street vend safely. And
Mhm.
I understand some of the things that's coming out of the COVID,
Mhm.
that's an issue. We
Mhm.
have to, practice the safety issues on that part. But I also have a program that's called Vendors Against Hunger.
Mhm.
And so what these local vendors do, because I wanted to get away from the stereotype of vendors that are going out into the community and vending and not putting something back into our community. So I
Right.
asked each vendor to put $25 towards our pantry,
Mhm.
and we feed transitional housing. So the
Mhm.
way that works is that we have social workers that work with these clients and they come and pick up food every 2 weeks for their clients. So
Mhm.
that's another program that we're doing to combat the, our food desert. Also, we do a food giveaway the first and the third Thursday of every month. That was our regular food giveaway, but I'm telling you, when you doing things and certain people see what you're doing, they come in droves.
Right.
I actually give out food every day. In about an hour, I will have some food delivered in an hour that will, and my community already knows that the community table will be open in an hour. But I have so much support. I have the local fire department that brings me cases of food. I have another vegan restaurant that brings us big pans of pre-prepared food that the families can just take home and place in their oven, add some, sides to it or whatever, rice or, whatever. That has really been a beautiful program for me. So yesterday, I even had somebody did a surprise pop up for me, and her name is Trendy Red, and the other person that did it is Def Clothing, and they did a shoe drive for me. They did a pop up vending show, so the vendors had to bring shoes, and then to entry to get into the pop up was you brought a brand new pair of shoes. I had so many shoes. I had to pick up so many shoes yesterday. It was amazing. So we will be setting up a date to go downtown and pass them out to our homeless community. And I'm so glad that they did new shoes because I do have a program for clothing where we collect clothes, shoes, and different things, but I don't use that stuff. What I do is I sell it. I have a company that I work with. This is kind of hard to say, but it's Fund. And what they do is they buy my clothes for 25 cents a pound or whatever we have. And we do 5,000 pounds at a time. And then we go out and we purchase new shoes, new clothes, because it's nothing like having a new pair of shoes on your feet, something that someone else that hasn't worn and the shape of their foot is in that shoe.
Right.
And I look at things in this perspective as how would you want to receive something? I'm a true believer as do unto others as you have them do unto you. Even though we're out here in this community, we're homeless, we're still human. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
We can't just throw a bone out to somebody and just say, oh, well, here it is willy-nilly. You want to give somebody something that make it feel good about getting it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And as you know, as we were talking the other night when we were talking on the phone, I was talking about how I didn't realize this is something that I was doing. I was bringing these homeless women into my community center, right? And I was cleaning them up. I was giving them new clothes and making them feel like a woman. And I'm in the midst of I have a young lady who's training me to do referrals for our homeless community where we can, provide housing. So one day when she came to the office, I was so happy. I was so happy to tell her my story about how I had been, cleaning these women up and they was leaving out of here, all cleaned up. And she looked me right in my eye and she said, you know what, Miss Ann? Said, I need you to stop doing that. And I said, why? She said, because she said, you're setting these women up to be raped.
Wow.
I didn't understand that. I thought that what I was doing was a good thing. She said to me, she said, Miss Ann, do you think that a woman wants to walk around dirty and nasty on just as a way of life? I said, no, I wouldn't as a woman. That's why I thought doing this. She said, no, that's their security blanket. Said, if we're out here in this community and we're looking dirty and nasty, that maybe some man won't come off the street and rape them. I didn't understand that because this is a world that I didn't know. I didn't understand what she was trying to tell me about what I thought was a good thing, and and it turned into I was hindering the situation. Being doing Project 43, I have there's so many people that come through this door that tell us so many stories. And this is another reason why every time somebody walks through the door and they tell me something, that's why I put it in my program. Like I had people come in saying that they're trying to get, on Section 8, or they're trying to get food stamps. They don't have their license, or they don't have their birth certificate. So I found out that I can actually get vouchers that they can get these things for free. So now that's another thing that I have instilled in the program that help every little thing that comes around. I'd be like, oh, I can do that. I can do that. So that's why this thing has grown to the magnitude it is and will be, because of people having situations that we are able to deal with. Our youth. I will be having a program, and I was hoping to have everything finished by this summer, because we're going to be doing a program. It's going to be called The Lights Are On. When I constructed our back area, we erected a 10-foot block wall for safety. So the kids are going to be able to come in our patio area that I'm working on right now. We're going to be getting pool tables and carrom games and different things. Chess, I have a young a gentleman that I'll be working with. He actually has these chess pieces that are as tall as you are, and that excited me. So this thing is amazing. These great big chess pieces. And that's why I got so excited when he came to me and said, I want to put this program in. So what's going to happen with the program? The kids are going to be able to come from 6 to 12 midnight and just be a kid. I'm going to have barbecue pits out there where we'll be putting hot dogs and hamburgers and different things. Someone donated me a popcorn machine. We can pop popcorn. It's a commercial size popcorn machine, a slushy machine. So just keeping these kids off the street. If Project 43 can get out of this, that we don't have to have one mother to come to us and say that they're burying their child because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. It will be a safe place for them. Part of the rules of the program is going to be, once you come in and you're signed in, once you sign out, you're out for the night. Because we still understand the times that we living in, and we would never want it to be said that someone went and came back and did something. You understand what I'm saying? Right. So we want to make sure that it's safe. The parents, either the parents can sign them in or sign them out, or they'll sign the release saying that they have permission to sign them in and sign them out. And to make sure that everything is good. We also will be putting in a basketball center with a skating ring and a stage that will be in conjunction, that we will have a recording studio with the booth. The recording studio is 90% finished. Only thing we have to do in our recording studio is basically paint, put the floor in and paint and start putting the equipment in. But the recording studio, we're not per se saying that we want to, turn out all these rappers, give them the false dreams of being rappers that they can make a career. We don't necessarily know that could happen. You understand what I'm saying? But we will be teaching engineering. We will teach these kids how to run a recording studio. In conjunction with our computer lab, we will be teaching coding, robotics, esports. As you know, the 2024 Olympics will be having esports. We are already on the ground floor. We're working with the ECAL, working as a fundraiser for our nonprofit organizations. We will be we're trying to, we're being successful we are a chain of nonprofits helping each other to raise funds through, it's a fundraiser for our sports department and making sure that we're not struggling in that area. So that will be part of us going to the 2024 Olympics. And that's very exciting because we're giving out, the organization that we're working with will be giving nonprofit organizations $38,000 a year to run their sports program. And that's really a big thing. Big ups to Michael Reddick, who's working with that program. But as we move into the 21st century, about what is needed in our community, we need these politicians to get behind us and not just be when it's voting time to say, oh, can you post this on your Instagram? Can you do this for me and do this for me? And then when they get into office, they don't help you. So part of this program, and another reason that is so important that we work with other nonprofit organizations, is because now we need to depend on ourselves. We need to be self-sufficient. We need to make this thing work for us. And this is another reason why our tagline is for the community, by the community. We are making sure that our community gets involved with this. Like I said, we have so many things that are going on here that would enrich life. The computer, I'm so excited about getting this computer lab in, because nowadays, these kids, only thing they know is phones. Only thing they doing is texting. These kids can't even write no more. Everything's abbreviated. They can't spell. They can't do anything. I'd be like trying to keep up, looking at say, Miss Ann, look at this. Like, what are you talking about? They have their own little language. But so coding, if we teach these kids how to do coding, the doors open. They can be whatever they want to be once they code. I have a young lady that's going to be working with me that's in the tech industry. And she's going to be helping us to get some things going on in the tech industry and having like these little mini sub tech workshops for the kids and the adults. This is a community center. So we're not going to be closing the doors on, because you might have somebody like, I do in-home care. And I am so impressed about some of my clients are 80 and 90 years old that are on these computers doing things, amazing things, taking care of business. And I'm like, okay, this is why you don't close the doors on kids. You just can't say, oh, I'm old and I cannot, I'm old and I cannot do things. You know what I'm saying? So that's been that, and it's amazing. So another thing that I want to bring up that we are looking to do is with our kitchen. You know, when I was coming up, my dad always came straight home. First thing he did was washed his hands and sat down and he ate a meal with his family. We have so many homeless families in these streets that don't have that luxury. So what we are looking to do is we want to have someone to sponsor us and get some trucks that we modify and turn them into like a roving kitchen. Not out here feeding them. I want them to be actually able to utilize these trucks and come in and cook a meal as a family and sit down as a family and eat a meal. So this is another program that we want to, you know, bring some awareness to that. Yeah, that we can do this. We can provide services to you as a family and help to keep your family unit together, because there's nothing like sitting down and having conversation as a family. There's so many things in this world that we just take for granted. Little things like, I'm sure, you know, you sit down at your table every day, you eat in the comfort of your home. You don't have to worry about what the weather's like or if you got enough food to even prepare a meal. You know, unfortunately, I want to touch on this as well too. Even though we feel like we're doing a lot of good things for our homeless community, in some ways, let's talk about this on being 100. In some ways, we hinder and we allow homelessness. And the reason why I'm gonna say that, and so people, I'm gonna say it so people can understand what I'm talking about. Community centers like myself and other people, we talk to each other. So we're not on top of each other when we go into these areas. So say Project 43 is out there on Sunday. It starts with one today, is out there on Monday. Beauty to the Streets is on Wednesday. Brown Paper Ladies on Wednesday, Thursday or whatever. 7 days a week. We're out there providing services. We're out here giving hygiene bags. We're out here, giving them clothes. We're out here doing. I have a young man that he told me, Ann, I have 40 beds available. 40 beds available. So I was doing, in a situation where we were out feeding, right? And I was talking to some of the, homeless people, constituent. I say people because they are people. And I was telling them about this program. And you know what the first thing they asked me? What time I got to be in? What time I got to be out? You understand? Some of them don't want to abide by rules and regulations. They like being on these streets because they can come and go as they please. They don't have to, follow rules and regulations. So there has to be other things set in place that when we go to these people and talk to them, we have to have something that we could give them so we could say, look, I have a job for you. I've already created a job. We're gonna help you with employment. And also we're gonna help you with housing. Those two have to be in conjunction, because that way, if you're giving someone a job, you're giving them freedom to come and go as they please, not just housing them in a facility that you have all these rules and regulations that's not going to work in the long run, because they're going to be back out there doing what they're doing. Because it's going to be they're going to say, oh, it's too many hoops that we have to jump through before I feel like I'm getting the service that I provide, that I need. And that's some things that has to be addressed when we're dealing with certain things. So there's a lot of things that I look at. I'm constantly doing my homework on finding, not only my homework on trying to keep these doors open, going out, talking to people, telling them what I'm doing, telling them that, I stepped out on faith with this. I stepped out with my own money, my own, just everything. I put my all into this to make a difference, to make people understand. If they see Project 43, I work with 8 other nonprofit organizations that we have come together, and we do understand that it takes a village. Even though we all trying to drink from the same trough, we all out here trying to get these same grants. I'm still considered what's called grassroots. I can't get these grants right now. I depend solely on the creative ways that we come about, making money, trying to keep this thing alive, because the grants are not there for our people as much as some other people.
Right.
And other situations. I'm amazed by how these big corporations are getting these grants for millions of dollars, and they got millions of dollars. We need the money to provide services, and we can't get it. But I can't look at that and say, that's going to stop me. Every night, I sit down and I think about, okay, today, like for instance, one day I was just sitting at work. It was a Wednesday. And I said, okay, let's turn this into a $5 Wednesday. I went and made up a little flyer, posted it on my Instagram, $5 Wednesday. Now every Wednesday, people know about my $5 Wednesdays. That $5 is $5 to try to keep this thing going, keep this marathon rolling, keep people housed, trying to provide services like we do. Like I said, we're a referral service. But in the interim of everything is what we have to ask ourselves, it's a personal thing. Every day you should ask yourself, what have I did for my community today? What can I do to make my community better? Because we are only one check from being homeless. We are only, we are losing control of our kids. As Black women, not necessarily just Black women, the reason why we are losing control of our kids is because we're trying to survive. We have to take on 2 and 3 jobs just to pay the rent. We're not putting the time into our kids anymore because we can give them only so much of our time, because most of the time we're not home. And this is why that people need to not just like how Project 43 came up. If we as an individual do something in our backyards, find some way, say, hey, I'm gonna step in, I'm gonna do tutoring. I'm gonna help these families. Think about things like this that can help your community, help these kids, because the days of Opie Taylor days are gone where these principals and these teachers live down the street from their kids and could stay after school and help them. They busy trying to get on that freeway and get home because they have moved so far out of the community. So now we need to come up with creative ways to help our youth. Create some things, you know, if it's no more than us getting together as a community and start and teach them how to work, learn how to get a job, come together and say, you know what, say I might be, you know, the neighbor and I have all these kids running around. Maybe I'll pull my lawnmower out and say, hey, come over here and let me teach you how to mow a lawn. Teach them how to do something. Then that way they can go out and say, oh, I'm gonna start my little lawnmower business. You understand? So there's a lot of things that we can do as a community to help one another. Be creative in doing like we're doing, like we have a community garden where now we're gonna start. It starts next month actually, and the third Saturday of every month, we're going to be having people come and learn how to micro grow, things that you can grow in your home that like I never knew, like this is like so wild. When a lady came and she did a little class, did you know that you only have to buy onions one time in your life? Did you know onions will regrow over and over and over? That will save you money. You take the tops off the onion and you take some water and you stick it in just some water. The onion will grow. You never have to buy onions again.
Wow.
Those are the things, self-sufficiency, things that you don't know that she came and taught us how you could take a 5-gallon bucket and put dirt in this 5-gallon bucket and regrow potatoes over and over again. You never have to buy another potato in your life.
Wow.
These are things that you can learn. These are things that we can instill in our kids. And also, as a Black community, when we get these Black-owned businesses, we need to make our kids love our business. The reason why I say that is because we have, how you keep saying that, well, we don't have any Black-owned businesses that are 40, 50, 60 years old. The reason why is because we don't embark on the situation that from birth, when we have that business, we teach them, we tell them, hey, we leaving you wealth or whatever. We have, so especially with these mom and pop kind of things, we have the mother and the father. They work hard, they keep this business going. Then unfortunately, the father dies. Then the mom, she tries to keep the business going. She tries everything. Then she dies. And then what happens? Because we have not instilled in them, this is a family business. When we die, guess what? Our Black-owned business die. These are some of the workshops that we will be doing at Project 43, making people understand once you obtain these businesses, make your kids love your business like you love your business. I've been in that same situation, even with my own children. I had a laundromat, and I tried to make my kids love my laundromat the way I did, and tried to instill in them, love this is business. This, you can pass this on to your kids, the kids. So it was a lot of work in making them understand that this is something that I work for, that I, want you to learn to run. So these are the kind of, financial literacy. As I was sharing with you, Joshua Mail, the other night, how I was saying that I pay my bills once a year.
Right. And that
You
was
know,
amazing. That was amazing to hear that alone.
yeah, I just hit the button. So, yes, I pay my bills once a year. That will be a program that we will be teaching here. That will be part of our financial literacy, where I could literally sit down and teach people. I've been doing it for the last 4 years.
Mhm.
I pay my bills every year, January 3rd. I sit down and pay every single bill I have on January 3rd. So these are some of the things that Project 43 will be teaching. You know, to
You had a question?
Yes.
Oh, Miss Ann.
Hey, how you doing, Miss Ann? Can you hear me?
yes,
Okay. First of all, how you doing? And second of all, thank you for coming on the show and giving us your insight. I got a couple of questions. One, uh, in what you're doing, I want to take you back to your youth time where were you born at to where and inside your mind as you were growing up through your lives gave you the vision of what you're doing now and in the works in Los Angeles to where you know it's a joy thing because when you're speaking of I see the joy in you and you're smiling and you're talking about your project. So I want to know the inside of you. You know what was it that instilled you from your childhood or going into what you saw to say, hey, this is what I want to do. And you say, how long have you been doing this program itself?
the program is 19 months old. We're still babies, but we created a lot in 19 months.
Mhm.
So I'm imagining where we are going to be 5 years from now. In 19 months, we created this program. But going back, you asked me about my childhood. My parents, Tommy and Evelyn Cooper, salt of the earth. My parents brought us up that family comes first and community is second. My father always, always did things for the community. Everybody knew Tommy Cooper. He was an electrician by trade. He worked on people's houses for free. He started feeding, he had a feeding program. He started off feeding 10 homeless people. It grew to 500 people he used to feed every Saturday out of his own pocket. My mother, excuse me. Oh Lord, somebody knocking on my door. My mother, she always did everything with us. She was a PTA, did the PTA. She did the Boy Scouts. She did everything that was in school, she did with us. She always, anything that was related to community, she was active in it. You understand what I'm saying? She was always active. So I grew up, voting was very important. For 30 years, voting was at my home, at my mother's home. We so we know that it's what it is about, community. So when this opportunity came up, it just broadened my horizon on something that I already knew. I had to make my mother and father proud because this is something that they instilled in us and said, look, this is what you do. This is how you live a good life. You do unto others as you have them do unto you. And that's why it was nothing for me to do Project 43. It was
Mhm.
nothing. It was nothing like this is a no-brainer for me. This is something that I already knew. Like I said, I live in the house that my dad bought when I was 4 years old. I'm 61 years old. It was a no-brainer that, hey, I could do this. My father always said, whatever you put your mind to, you could do it. When my when we as we was coming up, my father took all the neighborhood kids and he put them in his truck, his work truck. He took them to work with them. He said, I'm going to give you a skill. He said, it's up to you to use it, or you can use it or you don't. But I'm giving you a skill. So many people, when my father died, when they said, I want all the neighborhood sons to stand up, over half that church stood up when he said the neighborhood sons. My father was the father of the neighborhood. Nothing got passed, don't you be ditching school and let my daddy catch you out there ditching school. Oh no, he gonna whoop your butt and take you to your parents. So unfortunately, we do live in a time now we can't do that. We can't raise other people's kids, but we was raised by all the neighbors. You understand? We was raised by all the neighbors.
Miss Ann, from speaking with you, it takes me to a point of when we were growing up, we used to always say that it took a village. And it seems like you grew up in that type of environment where it was a village raised a child. And the things that you're doing now, you're bringing back that concept of the village raising the children, where you're stepping in and you're having programs to help take them off the street. And these are the things that me and Kay always talk about, wanting to be involved with individuals who are very impactful in their community, whether large or small. We want to make sure that we give everyone their opportunity to be seen, because Project 43 is something that we would love to support and be and back, because of the things they're doing in the community as far as the children, the homes. And a lot of people don't even talk about re-entry programs. And you're talking about the youth, and it was something that I had read before me ever spoke about how it's 35% Black males inside these prison systems, and 31% of them are our youth. And I'm like, it was a blower, because growing up, I grew up in what we call a suburban ghetto out in Long Island. And a lot of individuals I went to school with before they graduated high school, they went into the county jail. So they graduated from the county jail, then they went home and graduated from high school. So being that the program that you have, it was important for myself and Kay to have you on the show, for you to speak to all these things. Like, what made you want to start the culinary program? Like start with the culinary, and how is that being received with the youth in the community?
The culinary program, now what's going to be exciting about that is that if you watch a lot of these cooking shows or whatever, you don't see people of our color in those things. I actually have a friend who lives in Paris, and she trained at the Cordon Bleu. And she was the one who was very instrumental in telling me, Miss Ann, start a culinary program. I'm gonna come all the way from Paris, and I'm gonna teach some of these classes for you. And that's exciting, because she has been here, when I was doing the remodeling. She actually is doing a documentary on the gang culture. And she wants to bring culinary arts to the gang culture and teaching them another way of looking at the world through food. And so this is another, and that was the reason why I decided to put this kitchen in, and we're like 90% finished with the kitchen. Very exciting about, and the kids, like, it's so funny. Let me share this story with you. When the COVID first hit, and the kids got, like I said, the kids were coming. Like, we had all of these youth coming, and they were so excited about putting this center together. And when the COVID finally got to us, and all the kids started coming up here saying, Miss Ann, Are we going to lose the center? Are we going to ever get the center open? And I said, no, no, no. We're going to do everything I promised you I'm going to do. I'm going to keep my promise. And I sent them all, shoo them on down the street. You know, you're not supposed to be up here, you know, but they still wanted to come. So everything that I promised these kids that I was going to do for them, make their life better, I am going to do that. Be, you know, the podcast center, teaching them how to be, you know, work in the broadcast world, teaching them, you know, we also have this program that I already have 5 businesses that we're going to be doing very soon. It's going to be called Dress for Success. Now, I have 5 businesses that agreed to let me do it. It's not going to be that these kids are just going to walk in there and say, okay, I'm going to work for 2 months or whatever. No, they have to dress. They have to write their resume. We will have people, someone sitting down, helping them to write a resume, teaching them how to dress, teaching them how to interview, how to be successful, giving them that thing, say, hey, I'm going to go, and when I come home today, I'm going to have that job. So these programs like the culinary thing, I want to embrace that you guys, they're going to be out there, even some of the adults. They're going to be the best cooks out there. When they go to these little restaurants, it could be a hamburger stand. But one good positive thing, they can go to a little hamburger stand and say, look, I want to come over here and work in this hamburger stand, but then also look at the skills that they're going to have, where they have them knife skills and everything. And say somebody say, man, shoot, you don't need to be in this hamburger stand. Look what you're doing. Like that, like even little hamburger stand can say, hey, look, I'm going to showcase you one day, shoot. I'm going to have something special, you know, a special that you did that's so fancy that somebody's going to sponsor you. I have all of these big dreams, all of these, because you can let your imagination run wild with everything that's going on here. Everything. The kids being involved, the kids coming up here, because I have a young man who comes up here every Saturday. And you know why he comes up here every Saturday? Because he came and he told me, he said, you know what, Miss Ann? He said, I want to come up here and volunteer with you because he said, I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to go to jail. And he said, I know if I stay in these streets, I'm going to go to jail. So I'm going to come up here every Saturday and hang out with you. Those are the things that make me keep wanting to go, because that young man, I'm saving him from going to jail. He'll be here in a couple of hours. You know, he'll be here, not in jail. He'll be, and you know, another thing, I have big support and respect from our LAPD. A lot of people, you know, defunk the police and all of that. I don't look at it like that, because I'm gonna tell you something. These police officers that come to me and talk to me, like these little raggedy cars that be out here around my center that people be just dumping. Oh, they keep them cleaned up. They say, oh no, what you're doing is a wonderful thing. They keep these things cleaned up. I'm actually working with the LAPD to close off 71st Street. And we're doing a great big Christmas party. I have already obtained 5,000 toys that I will be passing out. We will be doing our, I already talked to the local food bank. They're going to be passing out food. We have at least 60 vendors that will be involved. I've talked to a theater group that's coming in that's going to set up a stage and do a play for us. It's going to be a really beautiful day for our community. And those are the kind of things that bring more focus to Project 43. At first, really wasn't advertising a lot about the center, because I didn't feel that it was where it should be, when people walk through it and want to donate money to me and give me, sponsorship, because I didn't feel like it was to where it should be. Now, when people come in this building and they see everything, now I'm getting a little more sponsorship. And I want people to really embrace. We have a program called the Next Lap Marathon. This is in honor of Nipsey himself, that we keeping the marathon going. And so what you get is you get a custom painted baton that says, thank you for picking up the baton and running the next lap in our marathon. And you get a certificate, and your name goes on our wall. We have a scroll here. We have right now, we have 35 people that participate in that program, and that helps us with our lease. This program is for our lease, and we want people to really embrace it. And, just give, just it's for your community, or not necessarily not for your community. It's about people. Don't just take it like people that are out here listening might not be from California, but you're still a community. You still are helping. You're helping. Don't look at it as community. Look at it as helping people. I'm going to tell you something. I get this one donation. This donation means everything to me. And I'm going to tell you why. This young man lives in Boston, right? He sends me $1 every month. And let me tell you something. When he sent me that first $1 and that letter that he sent with that $1, I was through the roof, because he explained to me how that he is damn near homeless. He don't have a job right now. But if his $1 can make a difference in somebody else's life, he's going to continue to send that $1 until it get better for him, where he can send me more than that $1. That $1 means everything to me. That somebody, not only from another state, but he sends me that $1 to make sure that we are good. Yeah, it's amazing. It's some amazing things that go on here. Amazing.
That's beautiful. Miss Ann, that's I'm loving it. What is it that people can do? Let's say advice that you can give for others to start up something in similar fashion what you're doing outside of California. Like I'm in North Carolina, Josh Mel's in Virginia. So other communities in the area that can get involved. We want to take steps to get involved and get into our communities to start something like this for our homeless. Because I know there's homeless here in the area of North Carolina that I'm in, that I would love to help and do some things for and with.
So you know what my advice is to you on that is, okay, for instance, how I did my Vendors Against Hunger. This is a beautiful program. And how it came about is that I worked up a flyer, and I just started going to all the pop-up vendors and say, hey, do you want to help me in the fight against hunger? Do you want to help people to not be hungry? That is a beautiful thing. You start small, like something like that small, but you need help with that. So if you go, like I'm sure everybody out there is doing, that's the going thing now, pop-up shows. Pop-up vendors. Start something with your vendors. Wherever it's like focus on groups of people, you start off like that, and then it's going to grow. Then people are going to start seeing what you're doing. Start like, because I started, just like I said, 2 little vendors started doing. Now I'm up to 35, and it's growing every day. So some of those things like that, go into your schools or your churches. Most of your churches have like the recreation centers. So you go into your churches and say, hey, it's sitting up through the week. Start with like a little tutoring thing. Start going to your church. Start the little tutoring things. Then as you grow your organization, then you're gonna start brainstorming, because my thing started from brainstorming. You understand what I'm saying? As we started doing stuff, let's do this. Start getting your little groups together. That's basically how Project 43 has been growing, because people start seeing who I was and what I was doing, and they start coming to me. Hey, I want to do this. Hey, I want to do that. It becomes contagious. People will start, oh, I want to do this. Can I help do that? So like I say, the food thing, I suggest start your own chapter of Vendors Against Hunger. Start your own chapter. Then I say, hey, Project 43, let's make this a movement. So I have a chapter of Vendors Against Hunger. So those are the things that I suggest.
I have to apologize. I had a little technical difficulty.
Right, real quick, John. Yes. When you grew up, where did you grow up at, if I may ask?
Oh, California, Los Angeles.
She said she's a native.
I'm a native.
Yeah.
I wanted to touch on some more of your reentry program for the youth, the ones who are going to, I think, what they're called YA, Youth Authority, and things like that. When they come back, what are things that you have working with them inside?
So what we're gonna do with our youth is we're gonna start like training. Well, it's a program that it's a self-modification, and what we're going to be doing is training them conflict resolutions, not to act. So what we're going to do is actually be giving them training life skills, like being a life coach when they come out. So we're going to give them coaching so that they understand that you don't have to always react. You can do whatever it is, conflict resolution. And it is the program that we're going to be working with. It is taught in the colleges. So we will be getting some of the interns to come in and teach it, because it is being taught in the college. So it's basically dealing with life coaching. So because if you don't know no better, you can't do better.
Right. Now, how do you address a lot of like in the Black community? A lot of times you have teen pregnancy and you have things of that nature. How are y'all addressing those issues with the young ladies in the community?
Okay, so we have a program that's WIC, right? So I don't know if you guys have it in your states. Do you have WIC?
Yeah, we have WIC.
Okay, so our WIC is a little different. We actually give out diapers and the milk and the strollers and the everything a newborn baby needs. But how we're gonna start reaching some of these teenagers is that we're gonna be having what we call community baby showers. And so we're gonna be doing that once a month, where we're gonna get these women together and have the baby shower, but we're going to create relationships within the circle, and also bring in, I have a lady that I talked to that she's going to come in and start bringing in some counseling to help with these young mothers who got these really young mothers, And even though they have these babies, we're going to still teach them that you can still get a job. So still trying to work with them on creating job skills. But let me tell you, not more than that, not just the pregnant youth, man, the teenage prostitution here is out of control.
Wow, I never even thought of that. The teenage.
But let me tell you something. I want to address, let me tell you, there's a street down here called Figueroa. My God, these young women are 13, 14 years old, literally on these streets with pasties on their breasts and G-strings on and hooker shoes that they call them. Nothing else on their body. But I cannot just walk up to these girls and say, get off these streets. You have to offer them something. Why would I stop going and selling my body, even though I'm not getting the money because most of the pimps are taking it? But what do you have to offer me that want to make me get off these streets?
Right.
So these are some of the other things that we have to address, is creating these programs that will say, okay, let's come and I could teach you like how to braid hair. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody, like we can make little workshops on braiding hair. That way they can say, okay, now we can teach you how to braid hair. Start off something small and then wean them off. So it's a lot of things that's like floating around in my head that I always talk to my, board people about, how, like I said, every situation, I try to figure out, a solution for every situation.
Right.
And that's why I fight.
What's that?
I was gonna say, how has the community turnout been working for you within the last 19 months? I mean, have you been getting a lot of participation from the youth as well as the adults? Because I think that's one of the main things.
Before the COVID, yes, we had at least 40 to 50 people every Saturday and Sunday out here. Once the COVID is slowed down, but we have a basketball team. They come every other Saturday and they work, because in order to stay on the basketball team, you have to do community service. So what they do is they come and they work community service. I also sign off people that need community service hours. I have 2 people here right now that have to do community service hours. So I tap into that, because those are the people that are dedicated, because they got to do the hours and they got to do the service. So I deal with more of the people that need the community service hours.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, a young man just left just before we went on this and said he just found out, somebody told him, oh, go down there and talk to Miss Ann. She could sign community service orders now. So yes. You know what? The streets talk. You can't do nothing without the streets talking. Right. The streets talk.
And it's like me and Kay always say, like, you're the voice of the people. You are the voice of the people, because obviously you doing the things that you're doing, and it's not like you have a big commercial for Project 43 that's flashing all over every TV screen, but the word of mouth is getting around to all the people. And we had spoke the other night, and you had told me a story about a young lady who needed Pampers for her children. And to me, it was an emotional story, how you sat down and you spoke with her and you gave her these things. I don't know if you remember the story, because and I would love for you to be able to speak to that, to the audience, and let them know exactly how nurturing Project 43 actually is, when dealing with people.
So yes, so I had a young lady. We were doing we did like, it wasn't a grand opening, it was an open house, and I wanted to show people where Project 43 was and the area. So this young lady came in, and she had a 3-week-old baby. And so I had one of my a lady, she's our business consultant. And so she was telling me how she was sitting back watching me. She said I was just watching you with that lady when she walked in, and how you put your hands on her shoulder and said, "Come on in here, girl, let me see that baby." And so she was telling me that, she didn't have these milk and she didn't have these diapers for this 2-week-old baby. And he was the cutest little thing. And so I told her and said, "Oh, come on in and sit down and, tell me what's going on and how can, Project 43 help you." She said, "Well, I didn't know anything about your program. Someone just told me, said, go down there to Project 43 and see Miss Ann. She's going to help you." And so I gave her her milk and her diapers, and she was so appreciative. So I do give her things. She comes once a month, and she picks up things for the baby. So our program is, when the lady left, Gigi came and she said, "You know what, Miss Ann," she said, "I watched you with that woman and how you touched her shoulder, so like just the love that you exude on that woman and that baby." But like I said, the streets talk. The streets talk, and people come up here and they ask for things. It's just it's amazing. And also the story that I shared with you about the young lady who parents were millionaires.
Yes. I was going to get to that one too.
So I have to tell this story. So there was I was here one Sunday by myself. I'm normally here. I'm here 7 days a week. This young lady knocked on the door. When I opened the door, my God, she was beautiful. When I say this lady was beautiful, oh my God, she was so pretty. And I just kept staring at her and staring at her and staring at her. And I said, so she said, "I'm looking for some socks." I said, "You looking for some socks?" She said, "Yes." She said, "Somebody told me to go down there to Project 43 and find this lady named Miss Ann, and she gonna give you some socks." I said, "Girl, you gotta be kidding. I'm gonna give you some socks." She said, "Yeah, that's all I want. But in the interim, I'm telling you, I'm just staring at her because she's so beautiful, but I could tell she's homeless." So I said, "Come on in here and sit down. Girl, I got to get in your business because you're too pretty for you not to be able to have a story for me." So came in, she sat down, and I said, "What's going on?" She says, "Oh," and I could tell that she was very educated. I could tell by just the conversation. She says, "Oh," she says, "I'm from the corporate world." She said, "But I'm on this hiatus right now." She says, "I'm off the wagon." She said, "I'm on drugs." "Yeah, I'm on drugs." She said, "But I needed some emotional comfort right now." I said, "Girl, you can't have no emotional comfort through drugs." She said, "Oh, yes, I do." She said, "Right now, I just needed to take a walk from life, and this is my emotional blanket right now." So we kept talking and everything. So I said, "Okay, well, I'm gonna do better than that. I'm gonna give you more than these socks." I went and made her a backpack, filled it with supplies and everything, give it to her. So I asked her, I said, "So, do you have a family?" She said, "Yeah, I have a family." She said, "My daughters are all college graduates. They have their families and everything. They call me every day. They make sure, I have a cell phone. They call me every day and tell me come home. My parents, they buy me a brand new car every time I fall off the wagon because I sell my car." I said, "Well, who are your parents? What do your parents do? She said, well, she said, I'm from Calabasas. I said, Calabasas, like Kim Kardashian, Calabasas, that area. She was like, yeah, my parents live in that neighborhood. I said, well, what are you doing on these streets? She said, well, I'm just checking out for a minute. So we talked for a little more, and I said, my God, you never know the plight of somebody. I'm sitting here talking to a woman that parents live down the street from Kanye. You understand? But she's on the streets using drugs. Pretty as all get out. She said, when I get ready, I'm going to clean myself up and I'm going back to the corporate world. That blew me away. I could not even. So when she got ready to leave, she walked out to the end of the curve and she turned around and she said, Miss Ann, she said, I need you to do me a favor. I said, what is it, sweetie? She said, I need you to give me a hug. So I hugged her and she said, I love you more than you ever would know. I said, you don't even know nothing about me. She said, yes, I do. She said, I love you. And she said, when I get off of my little hiatus, I'm going to come back and see you. I said, okay. So I got up out the chair, walked her back out the door, and I just stood on the sidewalk and I watched her walk down that street. And I was like, my God, you know, we think we got problems in our life. We don't know what the next person's problem is.
Right.
I have experienced, let me tell you, experienced things that I never would have thought that I would experience in a lifetime. So I hope by me telling my story today will encourage people, get out there, do something for your community, because you never know what difference you're gonna make in a person's life. That hug, that thing. I have another story that I want to share. You know, I shared about the homeless lady that was living on the bus stop. Now, this story is true story. And I'm about to cry right now because she died. But let me tell you, I tried and I tried and I tried. My team and I tried with this lady. But I know her story. I know her plight. Let me tell you how it began. I come to work every day. There's a bus stop on 71st and Crenshaw. The bus stop is so piled with all of this trash, right? And I always say, damn, why, they don't clean up all this trash on the bus stop. It's just piles and piles of trash. You just piled up trash. So I was in the back working, and my best friend came to me, and he said, Ann, I need to talk to you. He said, I got a problem. And he said, I have a problem. I said, David, what is the problem? He said, did you know a lady lives down there on that bus stop under all of that trash? I said, no, David, stop. He said, no, for real. It's a lady live under that trash. I said, David, you bullshitting me. He said, no. He said, you don't believe me? Come right now. Me and David walks down there. Like I said, it's all of this trash. I dig through the trash, I move the trash, and I see her head. I said, hello? And she said, hi. She said, hi. I said, what are you doing under all of this trash? She said, I can't get up right now. I said, what you mean you can't get up right now? She said, I'm naked. I said, you naked? She said, yes, I'm naked. I said, oh my God. I said, David, go back and go to the center, bring me a blanket. I'm gonna get this lady up off this ground. And I said, so I told her, I said, okay, I'm gonna help you. I said, so what's going on? So she said, well, I'm naked, I can't stand. I said, yeah, you're gonna be able to stand up. So I get the blanket and I tell a few other one of my workers, I said, y'all come down here. We got a serious problem down here on this corner. I said, I need y'all to bring me some blankets and we're gonna get this lady up out this trash over here. So I took the blanket and we tied it around the bus stop because I wanted to preserve her vanity. But when I stood this lady up, oh my God, she had all these open sores on her where what I found out that she was on drugs and she had bought she had $20 in her hand and somebody snatched the $20 away from her and she was running trying to chase the man down for the $20 and she got hit by a car and it dragged her, but it put all of these sidewalk burns all over her body. So it was just red and sore. But when I stood her up, all of these maggots fell from all over her body, just hundreds of maggots. She was covered, hundreds of maggots. I told my workers, I said, somebody go down there and get me some water, bring me some buckets of water. I told another one, I said, I need you to go to, because I'm a nurse by trade. I said, I need you to go to CVS down the street. I need some peroxide. I told him everything I need. I need this ointment. I need some peroxide. I need all of this stuff. I boiled all of these maggots out of her body because I didn't want her to become septic and die on these streets. Every single night when I got off work, I came and I reached those wounds, cleaned up all of that trash, told her, you can't sleep in this trash no more. I gave her one of my cots and a blanket. Some people have been filming that incident. But let me tell you how my community is. The people realize and recognize what I'm doing down here on these corners. They start watching what I'm doing. Every day I come, I dress her, I feed her, I kept her off the street. One day I sat down and I talked to her. I was trying to get her in housing. One day I asked her, I said, what brought you to this point in your life that you're down here literally living in trash? She told me, I'm from Oakland, California. I came out here, I moved to California. My family really didn't want me to leave Oakland, but I decided to come. I met a man and he got me on drugs. And I became homeless. But she said my pride would not allow me to go home. So I chose these streets because I didn't want to go home and be disgraced because someone's saying I told you so. I said, well, let me help you get off these streets. So part of my training, the first thing I'm supposed to do is ask them what's their name and what's their birthday, because then I can come back to the computer and I can look up what services they have and where they at in this homelessness situation. She kept giving me a fake name. Every time I go to the computer, it's a fake name. One day I went back to her. I didn't want to talk to her like this. I didn't want to do it. But you know what I did? I walked up to her. I said, look, I ain't fucking with you no more. I'm done with you. You so full of shit. You wasting my goddamn time. I'm trying to help your dumb ass. You know what? She gave me her real name, her real birthday. I said, okay. Gonna help you. I hate it came to this, but I'm gonna help you. I called the pet team. I said, I need this lady off these streets. They came and they got her. They put her in placement. She was there 3 weeks and she left. All of a sudden, she was back on the bus stop. Then one day, somebody came and knocked on my door. They said, Miss Ann, you know the lady on the bus stop? Hispanic lady. She brought her kids. This is a Hispanic lady. Don't speak English. She brought her kids to me. Her kids, she's talking to her kids in Spanish and telling me, you know the lady on the bus stop that you helping? She died last night. So you gotta be kidding. Everybody started coming to this center to tell me that she had OD'd in the back of McDonald's. But these people treated me like that lady was my daughter, asking me, am I all right? Am I okay? It hurt me to my heart because I was trying. Project 43, we was trying. Me and my team, we was trying. We was trying. We took turns doing stuff for this lady. But it's like, you can lead that horse to water, but sometimes you can't make them drink. But that's a powerful story in itself, because it shows that I'm gonna go all the way back to the beginning. Had I let those 5 contractors talk me out of taking this building, that I wouldn't have been able to do that. I did not let someone talk me out of doing what I felt, that this place is raggedy. It was overran with the homeless. They had took it over. I'm gonna tell you guys some things that's gross about this building. These owners did nothing to this building. When I say I took this building, feces and all, I did. I shoveled human feces and put it in a bag and threw it out. I threw away needles, drug paraphernalia, gross things in here, because I wanted better for this community. The average person, when they saw this place, they would be like, oh, hell no. I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole. I saw better. I saw better. Across the street was plagued with the homeless and pimps beating up the prostitutes and the shooting galleries and all of this. And I went over there and I started talking to them and I said, look, you guys got to move from over here. I'm going to take this building. I'm going to make it better. And I need y'all help, because if somebody come over here and they want to put some money in Project 43 and they see what's going on, they're not going to give me no money to help you guys. So I need you guys to move this. They have. But I go and talk to them every day. Give them food and tell them it's coming. It's coming. They respect me. They respect my team. They respect. You know, I am the face of Project 43. Everybody knows Miss Ann. Mm-hmm. But I have amazing people behind me. My directors are amazing. They sit here. They watch me cry. They tell me, Miss Ann, stop crying. Because I say, well, I'm supposed to fit into this bill. My king tell me all the time, And stop being so sensitive. You gotta stop being so, stop all that crying. I can't help myself. I have to cry sometimes. But they say, oh, CEOs are not supposed to cry. You're supposed to be strong and stop wearing your heart on your sleeve. I said, well, I guess I failed that. I failed CEO 101. I'm failing that. I'm failing CEO 101.
Ms. Ann, honestly, you're a walking inspiration to all communities, not just Los Angeles community, but the communities over on this side, to the people that are actually listening and watching at this moment. Because I know myself, I'm feeling moved by your testimony, and the things that you're saying is definitely heartfelt. And we see the passion when you're speaking, how much this thing that you're doing for your community is definitely moving you. And you can only do something like that because you love what you do. You know, you can't just do that type of work. You know, you can't do that type of work and not love it. You have to be that type of a person to go in there and say, I want to make a change, because change starts with the person itself and then it goes outward. Um, I wanted to touch on when y'all go down. I think it's called Skid Row or what have you. And
Yes.
everyone has a day where they go down and they feed the homeless. You had spoke about it with me, and you was telling me how y'all go. You might go Monday, another group might go Tuesday, or what have you. And then could you speak to some of the things that you're providing them when you come down there?
We do hygiene kits.
Hmm.
We take shoes, we take clothes. Um, I am I get supplies from, some people might know Dr. Barner. He's one of our suppliers. Um, a right to shower. Oh my God. Different churches give us, supplies. Right now, I can walk into the back of my center right now and I can provide 2,000 homeless kits right now. I can give out 2,000. I keep them ready. They on deck. They on deck. But the clothing, I have people come looking for clothes, food. I gotta even tell you this story about, I think I shared when, some people might know, some people don't. 3 weeks ago, I was trying to help a homeless couple. They stole my car. They stole my car. But I got to tell you this story because it's so amazing. The story is so amazing. Have an open door policy. I don't really sit up in here with my doors locked. My office happened to be open. Had my keys in a basket that I keep walk in, and I drop my keys in this basket. About 6 o'clock that afternoon, a young man walked into the office. He told me, he says, I'm hungry. And, I heard you have a pantry. I said, well, you know what? I normally don't do my food giveaway, but on first and the third Thursday of every month. And then, my pantry is, it's there. I said, but I tell you what, let me go back here and see what I can put together for you. So I goes into the pantry. I said, okay, stand right here. Young lady's outside. I said, stand right here. Let me go fix up your bag or whatever. Unbeknownst to me, while he's standing here, he done took my keys off my desk. So, like I say, I'm always here late at night, 10:30 at night. I get ready to go home. My grandbaby had been here all day, so I swore that my grandbaby to move my keys out of the basket off my desk. So I'm calling my daughter and say, it's 10:30 at night, but rain, I don't want to wake up the baby. So I call So I'm gonna call my best friend and tell him, come pick me up, because I'm tired now. I ain't got time to look for my keys. And you're gonna come pick me up, take me home. So by that time, I goes out and I go look in my car and I said, let me just check. And I said, no, I'm not, I don't think I'm losing my mind. I'm gonna go out here and just look through the window and see if I left my keys on the seat. But I said, no, I left my keys in the basket. I know I ain't going crazy. So I called my friend, best friend, and tell him, said, oh, come pick me up. So while I'm waiting on him to come pick up, I said, no. I said, Ann, you ain't going crazy. Go walk. Let's walk back out there one more time. I walk out there, an empty space. My car is gone. I'm like, call David, like, oh my God, someone stole my car. David said, you gotta be kidding. I said, no, somebody done stole my car. David said, okay, I'm on my way. I said, that's where my car was sitting, David. I said, that's where my car was. so David said, okay, we called the police. So the police, I said, well, you know what, David? I said, shoot, we're going to be waiting. It ain't no emergency. We're going to be waiting forever for this. This is how comical it is about my car being stolen. Because y'all going to think I'm crazy because what I did. So you know how I'm telling you, I'm laying these pavers. I'm trying to get this patio finished, right? So I start this program out here. I said, well, shoot, David, these police ain't going to come for a couple of hours. I went back and started laying pavers in the patio. I said, it's a material thing. I ain't gonna worry about it. I got insurance on the car. I don't even care. They got the car, I don't even care. I go do everything. Police come, they do the report, everything, they do it. So the next day, just Saturday, Sunday, the police call me. They say, hey, Miss Cooper, we have your car. I said, okay. So he went kind of quiet for a minute. He said, can I ask you a question, a personal question? I said, what? He said, do you normally have this much stuff in your car? I said, no, what are you talking? No. I said, but I'm on my way. So I get to my car. You would swear these people had my car for a week. They had turned my car into an apartment. They done took everything out of my car and moved into my car. They turned my glove compartment was a dresser drawer. They had socks, all of this stuff on my rearview mirror. They had all of these masks hanging up there. I guess my windshield had turned into a shelf. All of this food was covering the window. They had in the back, I have a Nissan Rogue. In the back, they had all these blankets, all these clothes, and they done took the bags, some bags and stuff. And I always carry stuff in my car that if I see somebody in need, I pass out. They done dumped all that stuff. They done put all of that stuff. The police say, so they said, we got the person over there in the police car. But they said, first of all, we want to ask you a question. Walked me to my car. They said, are them your keys right there in that car? I said, yes, them are my keys. They said, how did they get the keys? I go to the police car. Here's the people that I was trying to help that stole my car. I tell them, look, I was trying to help y'all. They said, the woman, she got an attitude. She said, you wasn't helping me. You was helping him. I said, oh, Lord. I said, well, if this is the way that you chose to thank me for helping you, I said, well, you're welcome, and I appreciate you. And I walked away from her, started cleaning out my car, and got in my car and left. That's my story.
I tell you, sometimes it's hard to help people because they're so used to not getting the positive reinforcements or not being in a situation where people are genuine and sincere with the things that they do. So when they do negative things or outlandish things, sometimes we have to think, you're not, what type of mind state are you really in? I'm trying to help feed you. I could have helped give you a referral for you somewhere to live if you was thinking forward.
Right.
But sometimes you just have to, you just don't know about people at times. And I'm not going to say our people, I'm just say people in general, because it's universal. I just left an area this weekend, and in Denver, whereas I was looking at the homeless community out there and how they basically just on the streets with the tents, and they turn them little tents into little apartments. And it's like, you wonder how a person get to that point. How what is it that caused this to happen? Or what honestly make you want to stay in that type of situation? Because a lot of these people are educated. A lot of these
yes.
are military vets. Everybody's not on drugs. Everybody don't get high. So sometimes, like you said, you never know what people are going through. In our community, mental health is a major issue because a lot of people have mental health issues and they have nervous breakdowns, and some things become overwhelming, especially when you can't speak to someone and feel comfortable to come to someone and speak to them about your problems. That's one major thing for us. We internalize, we hold things in so much because we're worried about what somebody else is going to say. If I tell you that I'm going through this, I'm going through something. And from what I'm gathering with Project 43, you're taking that element away where people can't say, you know what I mean, I don't feel comfortable coming in because I don't know what they're going to say, because you're giving them a place where they can come and just, I say, be mentally and emotionally transparent. And just
And you know what? That's true. Because let me tell you something. When people come in and they fill out the applications, and when they ask me, "Oh, can I bring it back?" I tell them no. Oh, we're gonna fill it out right now. It's okay. Because 9 out of 10 times when they ask me, can they bring it back, they can't read. So they're trying to take it to somebody else and help them fill it out. I don't embarrass that person. I say, no, we're gonna do it right now. Come on, we're gonna take our time and we're gonna do it. We're gonna fill it out. If I can print it for you and give me the information. But I know 9 out of 10 times when they say, can they bring it back, that they can't fill it out.
And I was going to ask you about the literacy out there, as far as with the youth and the adults. Will you be having like programs to help them get their GED or their high school?
Yeah. I actually have a teacher that we hired, and she's going to be working with the STEM program, and she's going to be running the literacy program. And then I have a teacher who's going to be coming in, and someone donated us 2,000 books. So she's going to come in and start a program. We're working with the carpenter around the corner, so he's going to be building our bookshelves pretty soon. And so she's going to be coming in and helping us to help, reading for the adults and the kids, reading. And it's going to be in a situation where it's not embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to make it fun. We're going to make it, and also I was sharing with you about how I was saying that the kids don't write anymore and they don't, do this.
Membership is not a thing.
Yeah, this group. He's in New York. So it's called the Blue Sorts. And so what we're gonna do is start a pen pal program. Not sending it to the kids' house. We're gonna send it to the community centers together. but that's going to help with some of the literacy, because a lot of kids now, they stay on these phones and they only doing this abbreviation and all of that stuff. You know, they don't really know how to read and write now. We're going to bring back, that'll be part of the literacy. It's like, you know, making them write these letters to their pen pals and this, and helping them express themselves. And maybe they might not know how to spell certain words. So we will, that'll be a tool that they can actually express themselves in the letters, and maybe not necessarily know how to read or, you know, write, but that's one of the tools that we're going to help them with.
I know in the capacity that I work in with at-risk youth and juvenile offenders and things of that nature, a lot of them are functionally illiterate.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've been pushed through.
Right. Oh yes. Oh yes.
And when it comes down to reading or doing anything that uses your mind, they lash out. They lash out. They lash out because of the fact that they don't want to be embarrassed about reading. They don't want to be embarrassed about not knowing how to spell something, or, you know, just basic math problems.
Right.
So, I was wondering, that was something that I was truly wondering, were you able to, you know what I'm saying, attach that to Project 43? It was a literacy program.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, that's the most important part of it, because we can't. We have to prepare them for the real world.
Right.
We have to. So whereas, you know, we want to, you know, the tutoring thing, we're gonna. So what's going to be a plus and how we can be successful in this, because, you know, as the people that getting these college degrees, you know how they have to put in so much time, community service to get their degree. So we will be reaching out to them saying, okay, we need you to come in and do tutoring, and that's for your, like, your theses or whatever. And that, so we've already contacted, I have a young lady, she's already contacted USC, UCLA, and matter of fact, and I'm glad you brought that up, because this just happened yesterday when we had a meeting yesterday, and we were talking about that, and a young man came on and he was like, oh, now that school is back in, now I need to start filling in some of these slots. You know, people are going to be looking for their hours, because when they get ready to come out, they need so many community hours to get their degrees. So just yesterday, I just got his information, and on Monday, he was supposed to start hooking me up with the people that we contact in the, you know, different avenues, and start getting these people on board. So, and let me tell you another thing that I'm doing is that I signed up with a program for our artistic youth, right?
Autistic youth.
Yes. So it's an organization that actually pays them, right? I have 4 that's going to start working for me on Monday.
Wow.
So, and they will be with their handlers, though, not handlers, but their
support staff.
Their support staff. Each one of them has their own personal one. And so I was very excited when this program reached out to me to be able to open up an avenue for them, because, like, right now, you know, they're going to be doing my yard sale. I'm going to start them off like what we're doing is that we just had a family that they're from Washington, but their mom lives here in California, and she passed away. So they're actually leaving on Wednesday. So what happened was I have a young lady that I have been working with, and she's on Section 8. And she was just about to get put out of this apartment because they said she didn't qualify for the Section 8 no more, because she didn't have any furniture in her house. So this family, just out of the blue, called me and said, oh, Let me give you this information on this program, Project 43, and call Miss Ann and see if you can get rid of the furniture and stuff just in time. So they took all the furniture and furnished this young lady's house for me, but everything else that's left, they know that I'm trying to get this patio finished, right? Mm-hmm. So they gave me everything left, and they want me to do an estate sale. Mm-hmm. And this lady had so much class. The stuff that we're going to be selling is, I mean, people going to want this stuff. It is nice.
Ms. Ann, I hate to cut you off. We're getting close to time for the show about to be in. I didn't realize 2 hours went by that fast.
No, we've been talking.
I mean, it just flew by that fast. But for right now, I want you to let our audience know how they can support, donate, get things that you need to help with Project 43, and make sure that when they come out to Los Angeles, they come into the Crenshaw district, they stop by and they see you. So just let them know how they can support and donate.
Okay, so you you make me laugh. You make me laugh. You make me laugh. Okay, so right now it's two ways you can do it. You can do our Cash App. Mm-hmm. It is at $Project 43 LA. That's on our Cash App. Mm-hmm. But you can also go to our website, which is project43la.org. It has all the different programs in there that you say if you want to see the culinary program, if you want to donate just to the culinary program. We don't just take people's money and spend it willy-nilly. We spend the people's money to where they would like us to spend the money. So if you go in, you can go to our website, but most people use our Cash App, the $Project 43 LA, if they're just doing that one-time donation. But if they want to do the monthly donation, that's where you can do all of that. We have links in there. We just had our webmaster. It's still under construction, but it's 90% done. So we do use it. It just says, coming soon or whatever, some of the rental stuff. But right now, if anybody today wants to make a donation and help Project 43 with our patio area, you can send a donation to $Project 43 LA. And we would greatly appreciate that because we need to get these kids off these streets and we need to get this equipment in there ASAP. I wish I could give you guys a tour of Project 43, but if anybody goes to Project 43 LA on our Instagram, you will see I give countless tours on there. You can see Project 43 from the raw to where it is right now. But like I said, we need your support. Don't just look at it as, oh, I don't live in California. Look at it as another human being. I hope I've told some stories today that touched your heart, and you can continue to help me run this marathon in honor of Nipsey Hussle.
Thank you. Man, I need you to just hold on after we end up finishing going live and everything. Just hold on, and we're going to speak behind the scenes. But I wanted to give an opportunity. Me and Kay always, every guest that come on, we give them their flowers. We salute them while they're here on the show with us because we have to give our living martyrs their praises, and the things that you're doing in that community is setting a precedence for all of us.
Wait a minute, I forgot one more thing I have to talk because people okay. So I'm in teaming up with Trendy Red and Def Clothing. So they're having we're doing a can drive for Thanksgiving. So anybody who's listening that's going to be in the Riverside area, the address is 5292 24th Street. We're going to have 100 vendors, 100. And all the vendors are in charge. They have to, in order to be in the vending, they have to bring canned goods for our Thanksgiving. So we're looking to do at least 500 to 600 Thanksgiving boxes, including the turkey. So this is what we're working on right now. See, I don't be playing. I be hooking up with folks. People be hooking up.
That's it.
And I told her, I said, oh, I gotta make sure I plug that. But you know, yesterday was so funny. I go to this.
Over. We have to get ready to get off. We're gonna talk after.
Okay.
We want to thank y'all for following, for watching. I'll make sure y'all support Project 43. Kay, take us out of here, brother.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Miss Ann was our special guest for the Real 360 show. And although we gotta go, we still keep it going on, keep in touch. Everybody out there, stay healthy, stay mental, stay safe, and be blessed. On behalf of my co-host Josh Shamel, this is DJ KY Zala. We are out on the Real 360.